people have most of their life savings and stuff.
Hello, is this on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. We're all a bunch of clowns here. Anyways, I'm Alan Miller. Most of you know me. Welcome to CiNPA June already. They told me it was the Eagles half over. I said, no, not quite there yet.
Not quite there.
Let's not rush it. Not much announcements. Next month is our July social format. We're going to do like we've done the last couple of years. We're going to have it at Molly Malone's in Covington. The little deviation is that since the 4th of July is falling on the 4th this year, the first Wednesday. The first Wednesday is the 3rd. So to not kind of overlap or conflict with that, we're going to have it the following week, the 10th. Be Wednesday night. So we'll send out announcements, but just I'll let you know ahead. So the format is casual. If you haven't been there, many people bring guests, spouse, kids, parents, whoever you can coerce to come. CiNPA picks up the tab for. So my Malls, if you haven't been there, is a bar. The second floor is a bar that's more like a private room kind of format, at least when we're there. So they give us the room. There's darts. There, dart boards, whatever you call those things you throw at. I think you have to bring your own darts. I think there's a pool table there. And so, and you can get food there or beverages. CiNPA picks up like a tab for some round of appetizers, and then you order for yourself off the menu for drinks and food. And people have gone. Some of you have been there in the past. I think everybody's enjoyed it. It's just get together, no business involved, no technology, just kind of relax, summer outing. So that's about it for my announcements. Tonight we have LogRhythm as presenting for us. We're glad to have you all here and I look forward to learning something which will be new to me, I'm sure. So thank you. This is Mike, right?
Yep.
All right.
You got it turned on?
Green light.
Green is, yep, green is good. Check the switch on the side. Yep, put it all the way up on mic. Here, let me see real quick.
I see you on right there. It is.
Yep, you got it.
All right.
Perfect.
So, thank you everyone for having us out. Especially want to thank the board members and the promotion that was done to announce this out to the community, and especially to Ben here. Ben hooking me up with Jan a few months back, and this was the opportunity that we picked to bring this presentation to you guys. And it's not just a presentation. We're going to fly through this in probably 15 minutes. Should be just a level set, basic background information on the security industry today and why a platform like LogRhythm is needed in our businesses and our communities. And fun part we're going to do is a training on our solution, a little hands-on. So if you brought your laptop, you'll be able to hit a web URL and go right into our platform and see live data coming through it. And finally, at the end of the event, probably right after we eat pizza, we're going to bring up some training and what we call capture the flag that will allow you to find cyber threats in real time in the data set that's in the system. And there's some question and answer that in a real lifetime scoreboard will break into a couple teams, and we'll see who comes out on top. We just did come off of LogRhythm user group, our install-based customers, travel all across the cities. There was Cincinnati, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Louisville, and DC. And all these teams, customers groups got together, teams of 4 competed. And I posted a real-time scoreboard out on LinkedIn. And Cincinnati users group down at the McCormick and Schmitz downtown there had a perfect score. 189 points was a perfect score.
Sounds a little suspicious to me.
And they did it with 13 minutes to go. So you get like 50 minutes or an hour to do it. So that was kudos to them. The worst score was somewhere like 100. Down in Louisville and Indiana wasn't too great either, 121. The DC, they were right there in the 180s.
They were close.
Yeah. So we'll see how we do here. No fear. You guys aren't users like they were. So they came with a little bit of knowledge. If you can score close to 100 points, that'd be an accomplishment. So we'll see what you guys can do. So who is LogRhythm? We're founded in 2003 above a garage in Boulder, Colorado. It's not quite the Apple story, but we like to think it's a good story because we were founded to do exactly what we're still doing today, which is enterprise log management. And I'll say we pretty much won the market for enterprise log management. No one does it better, more efficient, with more authority than we do. But since then, we've just built on our security tools, and we now call it a platform. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. I'm Mike Johnson. My role at LogRhythm is what we call business partner manager. So I manage the relationships across 9 states with everyone that you guys may buy technology from. So think CBTS, think CDW, think Logicalis, think Presidio. I'm in charge of all the relationships at those businesses to enable them to sell LogRhythm and do these trainings on their own, etc. So my job is to drive business through partners. With me today, I brought Nick Gujewinski. Nick's a regional sales manager. He is covering the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, and Southern Indiana market right now. And he can answer any of your questions you may have. We'll be passing around a sign-in sheet later. And he can put you on his mailing list and make sure that you guys have relevant information about our solutions that hopefully you or someone you know could utilize our solutions if you're acting in a consultant role or just through your networking. We'd love to have them talk to Nick. And then I brought Darren with me as well. Darren's out of DC, and he is our Rockstar SE, systems engineer. Say that way on the slide. Rockstar SE. We have 600 employees worldwide, operations in Europe. InfoSec Europe's going on right now. We have a large presence there, including our own mind reader we brought with us. Don't know what that means. Our patents, numerous, granted and pending, and we are a privately held company. We were just bought a year ago, basically today, by the largest investment firm that's specialized in a cybersecurity company called Thoma Bravo out of Chicago. And that has infused a lot of investment in us to grow at what they expect us to grow, right? The LogRhythm platform is here because of what you see on the screen. And things like I heard this week with more healthcare breaches for like Quest Diagnostics and even the LabCorp company was breached this week with millions of our records being including social security numbers in one instance, getting out into the wrong hands. And you can see it's a continuing trend. It started way back in 2006 with things like 94 million records stolen from TJ Maxx, all the way to some of the Sony PlayStation networks, eBay, Yahoo, Target. You guys all know that Target is done through a business partner using VPN credentials that they should not have been able to get into their point of sale network because they were there to work on the air conditioners. But because security controls weren't in place, they were able to get to that data moving east and west. So that's why we're here and what LogRhythm does. So the number of breaches tripled in 4 years and tripled again 4 times in the next 4 years. So that trend's not going to be going away anytime soon. You guys know most likely what happens in this scenario. You got motivated threat actors. They're motivated by money, most likely, or sometimes for prowess, but they have created a cybersecurity supply chain, cybercrime supply chain, where they are using commercially available tools to hack our networks. They're either paying for these, they're stealing them from government agencies like Eternal Blue from the NSA, but they're expanding the attack surface to where everything's at risk now. So there's no end in sight. If you're familiar with the Lockheed Martin methodology for kill chain, they do reconnaissance and planning. They scan your networks, your IP ranges, get into your servers, and see what they see and get into that initial compromise. They establish some command and control to remote hosts, and from there they try and move laterally, east and west, to breach your systems. They find their target, they obtain it, and then they exfiltrate data or corrupt data or put ransomware on your systems. All to try and extort money or records from you. A typical healthcare record's worth something like $300 on the black market. A credit card number is worth a few bucks. All of that data has monetary value, and that's why they're doing it. So what is our job as networking and cybersecurity professionals? Is to realize that this is happening and we can't stop it. There's no magic bullet. We're not going to be able to stop it. But what we can do is lower the MTTD and MTTR to cyber threats. That's your mean time to detect them and your mean time to respond to them. You want to take that from an hours to a minutes relationship so that you get lower vulnerability versus the huge vulnerability we have today. When we're working on that, you want to understand that IT budgets have to change. So up until about 2015, 75% of IT security budgets were spent on prevention. What's prevention? Somebody give me an example.
Firewall.
Firewall. What else?
Antivirus software, yep.
Yeah, IPS, right? Starting with prevention was good enough for Ben, and I've worked with Ben for 20 years. We put in a lot of firewalls. We thought that was good enough for years, but now you want to switch to where IT budgets are going to almost inverse. It's going to be 60% spent on detection and response. And tools that do detection and response are SIEM tools, right? Things that look at the data in real time and make decisions on whether a breach is occurring. The prevention's still there. It's just the component portions of money being spent on it are what's changing. And then look at that for 2015, 2020. There you go. Even back in 2013, it was almost all prevention. So what are some of the challenges we're seeing with people that are moving into that detection and response space with some early tools, maybe HP ArcSight, maybe IBM, maybe whoever, Alien Vault, SolarWinds, you name it. They're getting alarm fatigue. They're getting too many alarms and they don't know what to do with them. If you have too many of something, it's too hard to find that needle on the haystack. And so they start putting in multiple tools and they get swivel chair analysis. Like this tool says this is happening and this one says this is happening. And it's like a swivel, they can't keep their head on straight. And they also have forensic data silos. That's where you have teams in your own organization that are using different tools, and so they're siloed. They don't know which one and who has the information. It's like the FBI and the local police running the same investigation at different vectors. They're not aligned. So that creates fragmented workflows and bad use of your time and your staff's time. And they're hardly doing any automation. So these are challenges today we see to get that MTTD and MTTR down. Any questions on those? You guys agree with me? Yeah. So if that's the case, how do we fix it? Well, we fix it with what LogRhythm calls the Threat Lifecycle Management Solution. It's our own term, it's not an industry term. But you have to manage threats from that reconnaissance phase all the way through the exfiltration phase to try and stop them with people, process, and technology. It involves everything from monitoring and hunting for threats, to detecting and investigating threats, to responding and recovering. That's it. It's three things, but you need a tool and less siloed process of people and technology to do that. Effective threat lifecycle management requires analytics. So LogRhythm creates a data lake out of all these logs and alerts coming from your firewall, your antivirus, your servers, your domain controllers. It timestamps them, it correlates them, it parses them and it normalizes them into a stream of data that you'll see when you use our tool that allows you to do things like structured and unstructured search, forensic data collection, see the events, the machine data in real time, discover through the analytics and the behavior analytics. That's a newer trend in our field that we build into our platform. We baseline your users, what they do every day. They come in at 6, they log into this server, they check their email, they go on their donut break. I mean, all of that gets baselined and stored locally for up to 10 days or with our cloud AI solution in the cloud for many, many days and months. So that we can see scenarios in real time that are outside of that baseline and alert on it. We assess threats, we determine the risk. We have something you'll see a little bit later we call risk-based priority. So when a threat has been seen and correlated, timestamped, parsed, normalized, we'll score that threat on a score from 0 to 100 in our platform. And on our alarms tab or our web console, you can prioritize those, sort them by priority. And if they're, a green 0, there's nothing to worry about. If it's a red 90, yeah, you have a breach going on. You need to investigate that, assess that threat. We allow you to do that within our system, including having a case management and do some countermeasures of automation, such as quarantining a host. countermeasure, kicking someone off the network if they're logged in from 2 different locations at the same time. All of that can occur in real time with threat lifecycle management using our platform. And then we want to recover. We're going to want to clean up. We're going to report to our auditors, our insurance company, our board of directors, or God forbid the CEO, and review and adapt and start this threat lifecycle management all over again. So we're in this people process technology that's in one unison path. So no more of this, right? You don't need a separate tool for everything you see on the screen. And a lot of, maybe your customers do have them. You've got a SIEM tool or some form of log collection. You're doing security analytics with other tools. Your UEBA solution was bought from Darktrace or Vectra. Your network traffic behavior is, Cisco's platform. Or your network forensics is your Palo Alto firewalls. Your endpoint monitoring could be McAfee or the like. Log management and the security operation orchestration could be a separate tool. Every one of these could be a separate tool you buy. But with LogRhythm, we just like to combine them all into that one single pane of glass for you. And if we're doing all that, it really helps you with this threat lifecycle management that we're talking about. This is a view of our operational dashboard. We also do things like CPU, RAM, memory utilization, bandwidth utilization coming off the logs and the syslog coming from your devices. So you can see how many messages you're processing per day, per second in our solution. So our approach is to do this threat lifecycle management, starting down here with network monitoring if needed. We have taps and probes that we can put on your host and your network that will bring us that data in as a syslog, sflow, jflow, etc. We have endpoint monitoring with our agent. We have a pro agent and a light agent that can sit on your critical host and help gather those Windows logs and others. And then we get the analytics layer with UEBA and the network forensics. And then we got the security orchestration and automation that through APIs is tied to any other solution you may have, over I think 800 of them out of the box, to where we can do that, send an access list to a firewall and block an IP that's attacking you from China. Right in our platform, click a button, it goes and executes that on your firewall. You don't have to jump over to another console, log into the firewall, and do that. If you need change management built into that, we have approval methodologies within our orchestration and automation. Or if it's a bad enough breach, you can say, just do it, we'll figure it out later. Our components are pretty explanatory here with machine data and intelligence fabric. That is the brains of our operation that was developed starting in 2003 in Boulder with Phil Diala, our chief data scientist. It was his methodology to get this data collection into that lake that can have precision search, ballistics threat detection, risk-based monitoring, and eventually the security orchestration and automation. So the brains behind the operation is built into our platform in these 5 layers. Your sources of data can be anything you have on the screen, and I would venture to guess most of you have dealt with, logged into, or seen logs from every one of them in your career. I mean, Ben works at Kroger, I bet he's got some point of sale. We have customers that use point of sale data or badge reader data when you swipe into a building. Put that into your security tool. Anything that can generate an exhaust, we call it machine exhaust, a syslog, a regular log, a JFlow, SFlow, NetFlow, anything like that can be sent into our system and put into our normalization parsing rules to get you business data. And we also have our system monitor agents and our network monitor agents, as I mentioned, to get that data from the network itself. This really helps when you're threat hunting or investigating a potential breach, because you can do contextual search. So you know you're looking for, what did Mike Johnson do on the LogRhythm network today? Or you have unstructured search, right? You get rapid results from just typing in, authentication failure. Or you got machine-assisted search, which is some of the analytics on our back end telling you, here's something we saw using one of our many out-of-the-box or rules you download from our community. So it's all powered by Elasticsearch for better results, rapid results. You get much better signal-to-noise ratio, less false positives. And it helps with that investigation, automation, etc. So UEBA, network detection, endpoint threat detection, it's all across the scenario-based, where a real-time threat has been seen with something we've seen before. Maybe it's a file hash, maybe it's syndicated, it's some MD5 hashes. It's a known virus or ransomware. That's a scenario-based analytics. We can see it also coming from the network, the endpoint, with how that user is behaving, and that's behavior-based. And it doesn't have to be a user, it can be a device, it can be an Internet of Things device as well. But what is that thing doing? Let's detect anomalies against the baseline of behavioral profiling. So when you're doing holistic threat detection, it has some AI and machine learning components to it. I've got separate presentations on that. Maybe I'll bring to a meeting at some point. Well, if anybody is in AI and analytics in the room a little bit, yeah. So I've got some presentations on that too. But it's all about that real time, minimize the false positives, and at the end of the day, it's to use one platform LogRhythm to get your mean time to detect breaches and your mean time to respond to breaches down to the lowest level possible. So there's the risk-based scoring I was talking about. Use confidence, event risk, entity risk, all of these things that come up with that risk-based score that helps you attack your problem faster. Case management is built into our solution, so you don't have to have a separate ticketing system within your SOC or your IT operations team. I can work a case, I can attach some real-time packet logs to it, some information from the logs, and my analysis of it, and I can go home and send it over to Broadnex there, and he can take it and ship to you and work that same case, all within our platform. If you need to, you can email those case details to your ServiceNow or whatever ticketing system you have, so you can communicate within your own organization. But within your IT team and your SOC, it's built right into our platform, so most of our customers use that and love it. And again, the smart response is built right into our platform, and everyone uses it, loves it. There's just no better way to continue to breach than to have some SOAR capabilities. So it helps with standardization, it enables collaboration, accelerates your investigations, and gets that MTTR as low as possible. We have a network of literally dozens of technology partners, we call them. These are partners that either work with us on that automated response, or their systems are fully integrated into our platform for security, logging, and event tracking. So whether you're on the endpoint side with Carbon Black, Cylance, Symantec, etc., maybe you've got some identity and access management solutions from SailPoint or CyberArk. Of course, your network packet brokers, if you know what those are, can be brought into place. If you're using TAPs to offload your management traffic, they fully are aware with us. We're going to do a golf outing with Gigamon next week in Columbus. Varonis on the server security side. Threat intelligence feeds certainly are included in our solution, so that you get the benefit of those into your analysis, and our risk-based scoring, as well as all your core networking, next-gen firewall vendors, vulnerability solutions can be brought in. Tenable Nessus, that's a customer of ours as well as a partner of ours, right? And of course, IPS and malware, very important these days. Certainly love that our customers enjoy us, and we're really proud of the Gartner Peer Insights Award. You can't rate us and give us a score on this unless you're a customer for at least a certain amount of time. And we ranked like 4.6 out of 5 on customer satisfaction on the Gartner Peer Insights. And that was in 2018. They're going to 2019 right now. If there's any customers in the room, let me know. We'll get you a link to go rate us if you're here. And yeah, Gartner Magic Quadrant. Try and jump to that here. I didn't put that in here, but for the last 7 years running, we've moved up and to the right in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. There is only 3 players in the industry that kind of get invited to the table every time, and we have been in the top 3 for the last 7 years as well. So Gartner sees our value. Forrester ranked us number 1 out of 15 different SIEM tools. We don't call ourselves a SIEM tool that much anymore. We're a security platform. But it's all because the people, process, and technology are aligned around us for customer success, which is what, at the end of the day, we're all here for. Speaking of customer success, I got Steve Mosley that came in here. Steve's our regional director, covers all 9 states in the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic region, and has been doing this in this space for 20 years now.
You aged me a little bit too far. About 15 years.
15 years. So, Steve, if you just jump up and say a couple words, the mic can be turned on, and we'll let Darren go next.
Yeah, first off, sorry running a little late. Now at the hotel by the airport, so with the traffic and the rain, you can imagine. But, you know, I think Mike hit it right on the head. You know, I've seen a lot of things happen over the last 15 years. You know, occasionally I'll drop to my knees and thank God that those bad guys down there at Enron manipulated the spreadsheets and Sarbanes-Oxley was created. Because I would argue that if compliance reporting didn't drive the maturation of SIEM, we might not ever be where we are today, right? What's interesting is Mike mentioned about known baseline. I personally think that that's the greatest strength against a known threat actor, or a threat actor, is that they don't know the way that you presented yourself today, a month ago, 5 months ago, right? They have no idea. So when they compromise your credentials, if they compromise my credentials tonight, they may go over to a server that's in HR and access a folder that I've had privilege for the last 5 years, but I've never touched one time. That could be a breadcrumb, right? And when you look for those breadcrumbs against that known baseline, now you're starting to be able to be defensive, right? The other thing you can do too is you can trend job descriptions against roles and responsibilities, right? So if I know a baseline of someone in the account management queue, myself and Nick are in the account management queue, we're gonna present very differently on the network than Darren does in the engineering queue. But Nick and I should be very similar in our actions on the network, right? So I was talking to one of my counterparts earlier today, and what I said was, here's a good example for us as a company, which I think is retarded, right? There is only one time that Nick and I are ever going to open a VPN connection. And you probably know what it is, right? Update a password, because we're remote. So why on God's green earth would you give us access to VPN if we don't need it? I mean, you can literally take us out of the potential threat chain just by avoiding our access to VPN. We don't have any need for it, right? Salesforce is cloud-based. O365 is cloud-based. We have a Dropbox where we have our marketing collateral, right? We don't need VPN. Yeah, we have VPN, right? So if you know those baselines, you can start looking for anomalous behavior. And I'll just say one other thing too. At the end of the day, for me, it's a simple problem. It's a big data problem, right? All this data's flowing in. If you don't embrace automation, there's no way in heck you're ever going to get out in front of it. You just won't, right? So match that data up, run it through correlation rule sets. We run our correlation rule sets in RAM, not off disk. So we're pretty RAM intensive in our processing, but you get your correlation rule sets real quick without having to make queries back into the database and burn up gobs of core support to run those queries to look for anomalies, right? And then once those correlation rule sets fire, because they're risk-based prioritized, they're going to present from 1 to 100. Those rankings, we kind of do a mashup between what we do and then what we see from CSC, from SAN, or the minor attack framework, or the NIST suggestions. You can certainly go in and modify those threat scores any way you want, right? And then you must, whether it's our product or someone else's product, you have to challenge yourself internally to an SLA development, right? Because in our system, an 85 rated threat or above is going to be mission critical, right? And you need to look at it right now. Or if it happened at 3 in the morning, perhaps it's IP logins from IP ranges that are unacceptable. You automatically suspended that Active Directory account because the product can do automated corrective action. And you risk-based present that at 96 out of 100, so you know in the morning you need to look at it, right? And what you've said is, now that LogRhythm's given me the risk-based presentation, I'm going to challenge my team for every alarming criteria that's 85 rated or above to open a case, investigate, and mitigate within 90 minutes. And within our case management, you can trend mean time to detect and mean time to close. And if you see, hey, listen, the last 3 months we were trending at 105 minutes, above that 90 minutes, but recently we've been trending below that 90 minutes. I would argue at some point 6 months from now you want to collapse that window from 90 down to 60. Because the closer you can get to 0, the better off you're going to be. Now to do that, on the other side of the equation, a password reset that's out there off of the generic password reset, 1 minute past expiration, is probably going to hit, you certainly want to look at it, it's going to hit the board at probably 30 out of 100. And maybe you've defined anything 50 rated and below, it's okay to turn that around within 48 hours. If you don't embrace automation, and risk-based present and develop SOAs, they're gonna kill you. It's just a matter of time.
Good stuff. All right.
I see I'm the late guy. I love them. They can't stand. You know, they all have sharp daggers. Every one of them does.
We're going to bring Darren Cathy up next. Darren is going to walk you through our tool, get you a little hands-on with it. So maybe focus the camera on the screen and the users at home can see that. And try and stand in front of the screen.
Oh, sure.
Did I get that? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Is it yellow or green?
It's green.
That should be good then.
I'm the Chris Elliott. All the way left.
Yeah, all the way up.
All right, cool.
That's old school.
Yeah,
You might have to
so-
talk right into it though, that's what it does. Sometimes it's,
All right. So I just have a question. How many sales guys does it take to watch over an SE? Obviously, it's 3, right? So,
There he is. Arya's coming out of the sky to kill the Night King.
They just don't want you to start talking technical.
exactly. So, you guys all know the wireless access here, right? Okay, so just a reminder there, because we are going to be doing some challenge with our LogWars event, which is going to give you some hands-on capability, get the competitive juices flowing. There'll be, I think, a couple of prizes at the end, if I'm not mistaken. And so it is a team-based challenge. So we're going to give you kind of a crash course training in what the cool little features of the LogRhythm interface is. Everything's going to be done through a web UI. It's mostly going to be point and click. So it's not going to be onerous. You know, I'm going to kind of walk you through everything you need to know for these little challenge questions. And then we're going to divide up into teams, probably of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. About 4 or 5 people on a team. And so just to make it a little bit more exciting, we'll put up the big timer. The timer's going to read 60 minutes. And then we'll occasionally show the timer, and then we'll occasionally show each one of the teams and how you're doing. So you can see whether you're a little bit behind, whether you're ahead, you know, just to keep, you know, the armpits wet. No. So anyway, we're going to do a little bit of training, and we're going to go over certain features that are going to be key to you being able to answer these questions within LogWars. That'll probably take 15 minutes or so, but don't fear. You heard about the Cincinnati team who got a perfect score. I'm going to set you up to get that perfect score and at least tie them, because I have the cheat sheets for you guys. That's right. And then we'll be wandering around during that event just to help you out, help you over the humps. If you have any questions or you forget something in the crash course, we'll be there to help you. Everybody have a laptop. I have one extra that's been spoken for here. Does anybody else need a laptop to work from that does not have a laptop they can use? I think we might pull one of the sales guys, so there may be some interesting information on there. If you want there.
Maybe not.
Mine's all technical stuff. All right, and then we'll give you the login information and how you access the system after we go through the training. And hopefully, if we have this timed right, the pizza's going to get here, right? We're going to have everybody test their logins. We'll eat. So it'll be nice and sleepy for the event, right? And then that pizza's just going to start to roil and boil as we get into the event or later on. All right. So with that, I'm going to go through a little bit of training. You're going to have to move, yeah. These guys always get in the way. And so Mike showed you kind of our dashboard view within LogRhythm. And dashboards are nothing more than these what we call widgets that make up a dashboard. And if you look up top here, we have this little widget button and then dashboards you can look at. Now you'll only see 3 in the system we've set up for you, so don't get too excited. And you'll mainly be working out of this executive dashboard, which you'll see when you log in. But if you wanted to add a widget, it's as simple as drag and drop onto a screen somewhere.
and then that widget is going to be down there. There's a little gear on each one of these widgets that lets you choose kind of what data you want to look at. So I can look at a classification, it's automatically going to be filled in. Or I can change that to look at application, automatically going to be filled in. So one of the things that is the challenges we're going to have you do at one point is to create a new dashboard. And so to create a new dashboard, you click on the list of dashboards and you say new dashboard. Can everybody think they can remember that one? Okay, cool. So you click on a button, right? You got to click somewhere in the screen. You name your dashboard and you name it maybe Team 1 Dashboard. I'm going to keep this private because I don't want all of my cohorts seeing this one. And then columns 3, you can leave that. And then you're going to save it. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you pretty much an empty dashboard. And so if we switch to my Team 1 dashboard, it's just an empty screen. So this is where you go in and you grab those widgets and you start dragging and dropping them onto the screen, okay? Very important, as you start to work within your new dashboard, if you click on something, it's going to take you to a different screen, potentially, and you're going to lose what you did on your dashboard. So if this little save icon turns blue, you want to click it so you can save your dashboard, right? And then it's going to go gray, and you're going to be copacetic again, hopefully. And I'm going to click on it, and it's going to go gray. All right, so that's how you create a new dashboard. I'm going to switch back to this executive dashboard here. Now, the other thing about dashboards is if you click once on any piece of information anywhere in the dashboard, you're going to get this inspector window. All right, so the inspector window is going to fill in what you clicked on so that you can then go search on any activity around that piece of information. And you can give it a time frame. Click, the last, 5 minutes before the event, 5 minutes after the event, or, give it a time period. The other things you can do from this inspector, typically you'll see a contextualize tab in here. If you click on something that can give you additional context for that data. So that's going to be important during the challenge, because one of the contextualization actions that you can take is to use a third-party tool called VirusTotal. Anybody ever heard of VirusTotal? What can you do with VirusTotal?
You can look up hashes, you can look up URLs, you can basically upload files to get the scan analysis, and it uses nearly 70 odd virus engines.
Right. So if you find a process and you have the hash for that process, you can put that hash into VirusTotal to get more information about what that program is, whether it's malicious, its name, the owner, the company name, whatever. Remember that. That's hint number 1. That's a freebie. I'm not charging you for that one. All right, so that's the inspector panel. The other thing you can do with the inspector panel is, let's see, if we take a look at any one of our widgets, we can actually put a widget filter in here, or we can put one on the dashboard using this filter icon. And so with a filter, we use Lucene syntax. Now pay close attention, because this might be something you'd be interested in later on. But the syntax for Lucene is typically something like some value or some name of some value, like a process name, right? So you would type in process, colon, double quote, PowerShell.exe, double quote, right? And so then I can filter all of my screen on just PowerShell, right? So I can see that I have some hits in there. That's going to be important for you, all right? So remember that. The other things in here that I want to cover real quick, let's go back to our dashboards, view, and I want to uncover drill downs and pivots. So when I single click on an item within a widget, it opens up the inspector window. If I double click on something, it actually drills me down so that now I'm only looking at this type of data. So user login field, bad username, right? I can further click and further drill down by clicking on something else in this screen. You'll notice that my filter updates up here. So now I'm creating complex queries. And so this is called a drill down because you can go from a very high level to a very low level very quickly. Now, like the inspector window on the right, you also have this logs panel on the bottom. So now I can basically bring up all the logs that match this filter. And so if I click on any one of these logs, I can open up a details and actions window that gives me metadata, right? And it gives me access to the raw log message very quickly from a high level all the way down to the raw log level. Very, very, very useful. And so these metadata fields that we're pulling out are categorized by favorites, by application, by kbytes per packet, classification, host identity, etc. So if you click on one of these categories, you're going to get information in that category. Now, really important. So that's a drill down. The next thing is we call a pivot. So if you take any one of these metadata fields and you click on the little gear icon, you can say, okay, that fills in the identity for John here and any other identities it might find. And now you can pivot on John and say, I want to look at what John's doing 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after this event. And if I click on that search now button, it kicks off this independent search. And you
game mode to see if it's a little easier to see stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the board's
tough
hard to see.
That's
That's fine. I think we have a different background color.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make the screen a little easier to see.
that looks better. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, that
Much
looks.
And so Mike just demonstrated a feature called day mode versus night mode. I always use night
Yeah, if you're
mode.
drinking a lot of Mountain Dew at midnight in the sock, you do the dark mode.
So that search failed, but this is a demo system. Your systems are going to work fine, I promise. But that's called a pivot. So know that you can click on any metadata field, get access to the inspector window, and search around that event. So you've got your drill down from the high level to the bottom, and your pivot based on an actual piece of metadata. You can also do searches. So since we're based on Elasticsearch, all of our metadata fields are listed here. So for example, you can say, I want to search on classification is, click on the blank, and then you're going to get all the classifications. So for example, I might want to click on, give me a good one, I don't know, critical. And then kick off a search for events that match that criteria. So that's what we call a structured search because you're searching on actual metadata. You can also do an unstructured search. So if you select the log message, just a log message metadata field, you can say contains anything you want to say. So you can just do a Google-like search and kick off another search. And you can see that these searches are running in parallel. Everybody got that? All right, so I think we're almost to the end of our crash course training here. And of course, my searches are failing all over the place. Oh, you know why? Because I've been logged in for a long time. If I logged out and logged back in, it's a thing with our demo system. So one is alarms. And so across the top here, we've kind of been working in the dashboards field, or the dashboards tab, right? We also have two other tabs that you're going to be using for the challenge, alarms and cases. So alarms give you the risk-based priority alarms that Mike mentioned earlier. So this is going to be important because you're going to be searching for certain types of alarms going off. And then each one of these alarm cards, you can click on it to get more information about that alarm, including descriptions and things like that. as well as be able to drill down into the events that cause that alarm to fire using this little drill down button. Now, just as an aside, you can also add it to a new case if you wanted to, because we have case management integrated in. And so then, if you click on the results, it's going to take you to all the events that cause that alarm to fire. And then you can bring up your logs for additional information. So that's the alarms tab. And then the cases tabs, you're going to be using to find certain cases, and that's a manager's view. You want kind of a case, my cases kind of view, which will automatically pop up. Well, you get a list of cases. You can click on a case, and if there's evidence in the case, you'll see them in a logs, or maybe even in a set of PCAPs, or packet captures. Hint, hint. So one of the things for the last two challenges in the LogWars is we're going to be using Wireshark. So you want to make sure at least one member of your team has Wireshark downloaded to their laptop. It's on this laptop already, so don't worry about it. It's already there. But yeah, make sure you download Wireshark there. So just briefly to recap, you've got dashboards made up of widgets that you can customize by clicking on the little gear icon. You can create new dashboards by clicking on this executive dashboard or this tab and hitting the plus button next to new dashboard. Don't forget to save your dashboard if you make changes to it, right? You've got the Lucene filters, and we saw kind of the structure. Name, colon, double quote, value, double quote. We've got drill downs, double click on something in the screen, and pivots. So from the logs, you're clicking on the little gear icon next to a metadata field. And you've got the logs panel down here where you can get additional information about those logs. You've got contextualization in the smart panel, which will show up as one of these tabs. So here you see Smart Response Search. You'll see contextualization in some cases. And then you have your alarms, which you can drill down into, and your cases, which you can click on to get more information on. So that is your crash course. Everybody feeling pretty confident? Yeah, and you guys are, you know, obviously at a disadvantage because you're new to LogRhythm. Anybody here use LogRhythm before? Anybody use another SIEM like Splunk or QRadar? What have you used?
Splunk.
Okay, so you're not writing a line of query today, so you're off the hook.
How about you?
Splunk.
Splunk as well.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you see the length of the queries you have to write with Splunk, it's pretty dramatic. And then we typically put up a slide when we're going against Splunk that shows, here's a query you would have to write with Splunk to do this in LogRhythm, which is basically point and click for the most part. So that's why we're able to get away with doing LogWars with people who aren't familiar with LogRhythm, because it's a little bit easier to use. So I have cheat sheets. I'm going to give one for each team. So pizza's here. So now's going to be a good time to socialize. Get up, get your pizza, and then kind of reorganize yourself in teams of four. Mike's already done the math. I'm going to have to check them.
Should they take a melatonin too, or will the pizza do the job?
Oh, the two pizzas going to do it just fine. And then just sit next to each other. Make sure that at least a couple of people in your group have laptops. Not everybody requires one, but at least two. One's going to log into what we call the CTF, the Capture the Flag website. That's going to give you your challenges, right? And that's where you're going to put in your answers. The other laptop is going to be used for the web UI. And so that's where you're going to be doing your threat. Cool? Awesome. And then we'll go over the rest of the details after everybody's got their pieces. Excellent.
What? I'm asleep. No bobblehead. What's up?
And then I'm going to just walk around, make sure everybody can at least log in. Do not start until I tell you to, otherwise I'm going to send the Goonies around. I get you. And the goonies are the sales guys. They're gonna start to asking you for money and demo times and things like that. Okay, so you're into access, did you get into CTF as well? Or, okay, you did CTF. You'll have at least one person into the UI. And one into the CTF.
So is the password
Yeah.
upper U and then upper CPI?
Oh, got it, okay.
He's got a screen supervisor.
Okay, so you're into the web UI. And that's going to be, when you get finished typing it over, let's go back and do HTTPS. Okay, you guys are going to get into the web UI. One of you guys are going to need to log into the capture the flag. Oh, you're already there. You got that?
I'm over here, I just don't want to get it. This password wasn't bad.
Yes.
So you have two?
Uppercase U, uppercase CTF. How are you doing over here?
Netherlands.
Okay, good.
Oh, they're falling down already. That's gotta be upper.
It's the organization of the table, I think. I think it's password. Capital URL. Capital U, capital CTF, and pound is part of the password.
Thank you. I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, you got the challenges. Don't start until we say go. All right, and don't forget to change your team names. That's important. It's going to give you a different color when we got to show who's ahead and who's not. All right, I think we're almost set up for success here. Let's see what's next.
What did I type wrong IP address could not be found.
HTTPS. Yeah, you know what? I had to go, like, practice on that name.
RHYTH.
Yeah.
There it is.
So everybody see the big timer on the screen? You feeling the anxiety yet? You got the pressure? All right. And then, oh, no saws yet on the scoreboard. This is the other exciting piece we got.
Take direction well.
All right. So, everybody into both websites. Let's see you raise a rate.
Oh, there's another website.
Yeah, so somebody has to be on the capture the flag and challenges, right, to read the questions. And you kind of want to be side by side with somebody who's going to have a web UI so that you can kind of divide and conquer the challenges. Because you're going to have to read the challenges. So you're going to have to use the web UI.
The CPF themselves. We can only have one person.
Yeah, so you're on the
Okay.
So the other one is actually.
I can get into, I can get into the dashboard thing over here.
Sounds like we can work those parallel.
Okay. I can't really move my laptop because it's got the camera hooked up to it. Yeah.
So you guys there's 820 total, and you are, oh, so we just, someone got it in here. It happens every time. All right, you guys good set up? Somebody's on the CTF, somebody's on the WebUI.
Darren. Middle. Yeah, that's it. I just pulled it back up.
What's going on?
Somebody was having trouble. What were you saying? Somebody's got trouble logging in. Oh, wait there.
Oh, yeah, so, I'm sorry, these are wrong. Use what's up on the boards, LogWars.LogRhythm.com. Yeah, they check it on me. That was my joke about Microsoft. Cool. Okay, so there's, and now you log into there with your team name, which was, yeah. Oh, goodness. That's pound 0230, yeah. Do you guys have a team name? We'll call you the no name. That's a good one. So log in with team 0.
You ready for the timer again, or?
Yes, go ahead and switch it over to the timer. Well, only when you start to see count.
I'll share it.
I know.
That's why Ian and the sales guys get up and talk. Just don't have time for that.
We have real work to do. Yeah, pound, and then just capital U. Or capital T, sorry. E, then 02, and then capital, yeah.
It should be in front of here.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So you're into the challenges. We got you into the web UI. Excellent. All right. Does anybody want an extra laptop or anything? You're good? Everybody good? Barb? What's that? No, unfortunately. All right. Nick, on my countdown, I want you to hit that timer button.
Bring it on.
You see where it says start? Yeah, good.
I'm wearing my glasses.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And don't worry, you only really have 45 minutes because you have to be out by 9. All right, guys, so you start reading through those challenges and start to figure out how to do it. So 1, 2, okay, so okay, so what on that screen should we do authentication? Okay. And now look at the top of that. So with that, you go and type that.
Yeah, because I clicked on authentication and I drove down.
So which company?
Oh! Nick, where are you? Yeah.
Switch up. To the scoreboard. I think maybe just need to refresh it.
We can't, but a positive is designed to allow
Who's Matt's heroes? On the scoreboard. Look at that.
Matt too. Oh,
Quick 2. Quick 1.
This ought just fine.
Yeah, 5 minutes. What are you doing?
Streaming this.
Oh, got it. So you're actually working. Sorry about that.
So I got the scoreboard going through the live stream right now. There we go.
So now look at your top classification. So you got a lot of information that was scroll down and then scroll down. And so now you're just looking at authentication failures.
So it's first one, or first one.
Correct. Okay, you see? So you gotta use what you're looking at on the screen, and then the challenges will interact with
That host is associated with the user identified question dashboard inside.
So now drill down. So they're looking for which impact
It shows the development wise, and then the last 24 hours, this is very long. That's the top post. You say that protects. Master tags, right?
It's still filtered by.
Top user impact.
Yeah, up there. So actually go just unclick the authentication.
All right. Who's the official winners of the board down to?
Oh! That's into their help for a little bit. We got some spikes. Okay, so we look. Okay. All right. So which technical system to use it, so get rid of the authentication failure, right? So you can actually get rid of some of the problems. Right.
I saw that one, but I guess it's...
It's the impacted, right? There is a difference between impacted hosts and origin hosts. So tell me. So all he had to do was remove the breadcrumbs over the drive to get the top impacted host.
Incorrect.
Oh, yeah, so you go on the left side, right, and then scroll back up. Yeah, so you're dealing with it on some like laptop.
That's the live stream.
Oh, cool. On your live stream,
And recording at the same
There you
time.
go, perfect.
The recording's not getting the scoreboard status.
Oh, yes, it is.
got it. Yeah, I'm just switching to it. Like, I'm just refreshing it after 5 hours or so.
Yeah, so when...
So how are they doing?
Screen, if you're getting, like, everybody's watching. See that. Okay, I'm going to refresh it real quick.
I like your style. Oh, I thought you were just trying everyone.
Yeah, we had counts.
Okay, cool, perfect. Good deal.
This one was shorter. He's doing that. You want me to go to it?
Yeah, you gotta refresh that, I think. Yeah, that needs to be refreshed, it's not accurate, yeah.
He said he was accurate.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, now we're getting some lines up to the right.
And everybody's on the board, all right?
Heaven forbid.
Yeah, so you're on. So when you take it back, when you have one of these wait.
Just the guy that shows up.
The late guy.
Region RD.
That's where
So your follow-up question is, applications associated with these are identified. Our trigger violation.
Okay.
Those 20 are triggered.
You need to refresh it now.
Yeah. Just get you
gonna do a confidence or so.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get some of the techniques now.
I'm probably refreshing mine, say 30 seconds, so that the viewers online can see it. You're supposed to be answering questions. I gotta keep jumping back and forth.
Okay.
How many what alarms?
How many alarms are they really using in that 24 hours? Is that a
Yeah, combine these two. Put it down.
So this might be search on user. And okay, all the usernames are first name, so two stage search.
Which passport
Yeah, I add these to these two now.
Name search. Yeah, I know. Okay, so it's already
access organized manager remote
just type it in.
and security events organized by you. Three choices. Executive dashboard.
File monitor.
The access created.
So now,
So you
Yep, top off.
Access manager security events by you.
Pretty close to the highway.
I was gonna say, do you want to drive?
I was in Europe this week. I had if you come south, yeah, we can have a my hotel. Or we come back, you just stop my hotel, she's right there on the highway. Was the airport?
Different airport.
Yeah, but it's close proximity.
Yeah, it is.
That would yeah, we'll do that.
2 hours, yeah, so like 8:30.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll be there. Just text me. I'll be up. We'll do it.
Oh, I need to have it.
guys are doing good.
Take that beat. Ooh, it's getting interesting.
Yeah, it's getting quite interesting.
Common event file monitor.
I wish I could have this thing auto refresh every few minutes.
Minus the process name equals PowerShell exe. So it's file monitor event. File monitor.
Tomorrow morning. All right, so the easiest is just to kick off the search. You see that big search bar? And so you can build these searches using these filters. So if you click that down, just now just start mentioning one component.
All right, I got them all in there. If you want to go even there.
There you go.
Oh, is that?
Right now, you can say add another. And the second and then it'll come back and say first result and then complete result. So you can go ahead and click on that. That's going to bring you up into an analyzer with just that information shot. And so you can do that, or you can just put the log down the log. There you go.
get rid of the G doubles, give it a space. So, and scroll just grab the column. There you go. Yeah, so these are all deleted. So if you just click on a line, not here, just click on a line. There you go. Now open up your details window. That's like right in this side, right here. Yeah.
I'll open that back up.
Yeah, and then just scroll down. See process. So the company with a service account.
They have a widget on here called
Oh, okay, so you're here.
You guys are really
Where should I put the over?
The answer.
Oh, I do have a question, if there's no space for an answer here.
Oh, if you click in that black box and then just scroll down.
Been on that usually what it
So for some reason, if you're not in that like middle panel, focus.
So everything.
It's also why I prefer using this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
I was there, especially in general, because I can't.
Yeah. Well, the other problem is sometimes you put too much pressure on it, and something's
Marcus was burned in.
it's an act. I actually use a track cost.
Oh,
Marcus
A lot of people like it.
yeah, I had like two big ones, like
So you file.
not there, but in the middle.
Still tight, but Matt's Heroes takes a little easy.
Scroll down. Oh, no, so that's not it.
So how do you query it?
So, I'll change that from rename.
So there's other, well, actually, get rid of the details. I'll show you another trick. So see in this window here, if you just click in that white space, or this white space, where it says type here, there's only one other user. I think it could be right through all the users. So that's kind of a neat trick to kind of collapse a bunch of information.
I'll get tired of the Jeopardy.
I'll be a jerk off.
Having trouble creating a new widget.
You have the phone.
I know, it is kind of yeah, it doesn't close it effectively.
And you can't look at my
And then, yeah, just close. And then, all right, so this is using a pretty complex circuit very quickly. So you see how many so
These can value which files will be
so now you can have it open. Just start that this process.
put up their company businesses there for deletion.
My top processing did send me the parent processing. Like the strategy is what?
You gotta click on the choice.
I did, it came up parent first.
It always gets in the heat of the battle. We lose a lot of laptops.
You're not losing my laptop.
All right,
What's the name of the service account which I deleted several files using PowerShell?
so you just,
That's not.
I can't say it's the title too small. What is it? Field knowledge.
Right, and so, put into the white space.
Can you come back to it?
Okay, it's only
There are no reports.
No threats.
oh, just look up at the board. You guys are rocking and rolling. It's gonna come down to the wire, I think. This is a good one. The official winners, Wolf Bites, Team 02, very creative, and Matt's Heroes. All right, we got them all
Change your
going.
name, we get to mock you.
Good job, guys.
That's tight.
Yeah. Okay, back to the scoreboard. Or bite of pizza.
What's the question?
Same way. Feel exactly the same way. 11 o'clock at night when you're ready to go to sleep. That's what happens to me when I eat too much pizza.
So this would be like the file monitoring activity, so if you do like a file-based monitoring and that classification for a common event. The classification is very high level, so very good. I think it's file monitoring. Monitoring. Search. So I don't think there was anything. So, click through that. Classification, so you really anything else.
No, still go.
Having to worry about all the devices. Yeah, so those are your top options. So if you
Find that, or at least do a temperature check. A little before night.
We're moving to the right.
We're getting deep.
And then you can actually think. Somewhere in there. Look at that. So which one has been deleted the most?
Three plays tie for
There you
second.
go. Then don't type that over correctly.
Crazy, dude.
Goes to show if you're not first or last.
Ricky Bobby.
Oh, it's changed now. It's a two-place tie for third.
Almost makes you want to become a security analyst, doesn't it? What's that? Yeah, exactly.
To do the demo?
No, so you practice. Thousand,
Yeah.
million.
Not.
The most.
Everyone was just literally last couple of days.
So we don't need this information.
They're on most polluted files.
Two place tied for second
No, there's one in there that's.
with Matt's Heroes and
That's
the
easy.
lead. And official winners at the very bottom.
Pull that down. So scroll down so there's your top object. So expand it down. Grab this right there. Grab that. And then grab a 60. Grab
We're not gonna need these live mics anymore, are we?
No.
Think he's still wearing it?
He might still be wearing it. Yeah. Darren's
Oh, no, oh, wait, no. Oh, sorry. So that's the portrait. It's our batteries. In here, they'll try and use their own batteries. Heads, but they got 12 amps.
Get smarter. I can see the wheels turning.
Because we're not providing our batteries to them. It's not.
got a little spike up.
Ooh.
Wolf light.
Ooh, dang.
Breaking 21st.
I gotta refresh this.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got the right answer here. I haven't got.
Well, so just open up, well, what's the common event?
How do you not do anything?
This is a.
Financial file.
I think I'll just be a spectator for right now. So my team's so far ahead of me because I'm doing the recording.
Which one were you getting?
We're Matt's Hero, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure though.
So the real question is,
I gotta figure.
Ford that has the.
I was out in the hallway when they named my team. So.
Yeah, the same thing. File.
Yeah, Ford has.
How's this versus that?
They are in the same vein as far as law management. They're
There you go.
Lowercase uppercase.
There's probably an easier way to do that. It's kind of easy. Put the time clock back up.
Actually, what's the Okay, so see the lower right corner.
Are you guys kicked out of it? Are you guys pretty much kicked out at 9?
No, we've been here 10 before once.
And then there's a bar right in there. So there's only
15 minutes remaining. I'm going to announce it. When it
We were talking about official. Take a temperature.
Yeah, no, just lose the page.
All right, quick temperature check for you guys. Everybody's kind of into it, but I know this is supposed to go till 9, but with 30 minutes left, we wanted to just see if you guys want to use the full time and stay a little bit later. I see some nods.
I feel the momentum building.
We're fine to stay if you want
We're
to,
getting smarter.
but I know that wasn't how it was said.
If you quit now, you can leave here with half of your points. If you finish the game, you can leave with all of your points.
There is prizes for the winning team. They're very nominal, but.
But you're all pretty close right now. So nobody has to go home feeling bad. We got no apparent loser.
On top of the tie for second.
Which impact is which one is that?
I wasn't watching with insurance company do it, like, so that means they have to do that or somebody.
As you can see, this takes a certain skill set. Oh, yeah. And ours is easy to act on some of the other
Now, just so you guys feel good, this is not a beginner's challenge. So you guys are doing really good. We expect you to be a LogRhythm customer or an employee or somebody like that. We are working on one that's kind of a basic 101, which I'm sure you guys would have all aced. So.
Matt's Heroes, 12:30.
I'll review yours.
There on the user account creation, is that a search?
Oh. Wow.
So a user account creation, figuring out if a user impact or user account
I did user impact. Refresh.
In this case, can you say call on this one?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Oh, I put it, that spell doesn't have anything to say call.
Yeah, and we're all first on last.
Let's see that also. Oh, first name. Didn't know results.
Oh, okay. Party board. Yeah, you got it.
I did both. Try to be consistent. I did the one that says, orange, I said Carl.
I swear I didn't.
Okay, so. Account created.
You guys are well. You guys will
Which user account was created?
So if you click on that widget and click on the wall.
So this is one where you would go ahead and search for that.
How does the main lookup fail? Does that ever happen there? We're on the record with the account on the financial service inbox.
Oh, yeah, so that's just a sandbox. So you can't use.
Which field of these shows the account is great? How do we figure it out?
So what was the question?
Which user account was created for call?
Okay, I'm creating those.
We have flat wood.
What's that? Wolf Bites is up right now.
We have a new leader.
I know there's some bigger point questions coming up though too.
Let's see.
Correct. You're right.
This now you search for
Loose connection or something here. This cord is garbage, I swear.
You have
Now it's working.
Yeah, you have the VMDR switch.
Somebody tied a knot in this thing. It ruined it. The cord. It's got to be wrapped around it.
That was it.
They went up a little bit down there.
How many files did the user read?
Matt's Heroes, the first team to break 40.
That's a change.
Matt's Heroes is the first team to break 40 with about 21 minutes left on the clock.
This was the last one.
Close second is Wolf Bites, and Team 02 is third.
Did the user read?
Somebody found a big point.
Yep.
Does the user count still exist?
I guess I'll just be sitting here spectating this whole thing, refresh every 30 seconds.
No, I like the color announcing.
And a color commentary.
AID
Team 02 was the second team to break 40 points.
considered external.
Give one of these.
Go! Barcelona! Wolf Bites has 43 points now. First place.
It's heating up.
Wolf Bites now has 48 points.
Mike, did you get them today? You round all the cars while you get distracted. Yeah, right. I got fun with Uh-oh.
is it?
You know, the thing is, sometimes you hit the wrong ones.
Just under 20 minutes left.
Yeah, I knew it.
First place so far, won both fights. We have a tie for second place between Matt's Heroes and Team 02.
Right, that's what we're starting. Building out the types are displayed within. All right. CrowdStrike, law source.
Log source type. It's going to be this loud. And then scroll back. Because there's multiple steps. Very good.
The other way you can do it, because sometimes
Neck and neck. 18 to go.
categorize metadata fields. So you would have to focus on because you're on the page, everything, all the metadata.
Well, that's what we thought was over here.
Basically, we got a couple of arrows running.
Well, it's
Well, it's like, it's single pane, but it's pane within pane. Lots of pane. I like that one.
I'm just like,
What is the meaning of the
Yeah, so this is where you would use
Data exfiltration. That was required. Hey, Chad. Yeah. Really learning something.
a little bit, man.
Well, you know, the thing is,
The biggest thing is with any tool is just figuring out where everything is.
yeah, but you've never used this tool before.
No.
Have you used anything like it?
Splunk's a little bit like it.
A little bit, yeah. Well, the other thing, sometimes it's confusing.
It's like, yeah, it's like, what is this classification type?
I'll finish it, but actually, close.
Well, you know, each contribution.
What is the name of user account display which trigger?
Team 02 is the first team to hit 50 points.
I'm going to swing to your station and use it.
There you go. A long way since New
Just under 15 minutes remaining. Team 02 in the lead. Wolf by second. Matt's Heroes third.
Good job. All right. This is the last one. Refresh.
It's close. Like I said, if anyone got close to 100, I was going to be impressed.
Gaps are narrow.
Good.
Yeah.
Search alarm.
Oh, yeah, did you try searching alarm?
No, I want to go for I did that when I did my
kind of vague, but I just, you could use the data and There's several different ways to skin it. Whatever.
I'm about to throw this thing.
So this is what I just did this year, and I tried to do myself. So there's a salary by tax, got salary. Yeah.
Coming up on 10 minutes, we'll do another check. We'll do a final check on the score at 5 minutes and then go just to the timer until time's up. You can try and smash and grab for big points if you want to look at questions ahead.
Wolf bites have the lead. I'm gonna throw this thing.
Just turn it off. Let's turn them all on.
Can I switch you? This thing is, I don't know what's going on with this one.
I don't need one.
Okay.
I'm gonna lose my voice.
Much better.
Just about 10 minutes remaining. Both bites in the lead. Team 02 is second place. The official winners is third place. And Matt's Heroes is in the bottom. We should have them side by side.
Team 02
is now claiming the lead with 60 points.
Okay, back, go ahead with that. What the concentration?
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. You gotta keep refreshing the scoreboard though.
I will, yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
Team 2 and Wolfbite's trading places? Back and forth.
None of you guys would get stuff on here.
This is probably the best time.
How do you tell here? Because it's asking.
Yeah, I mean, through a lot of data.
Yes, and you can just take pictures and everything.
Well, you know, the thing is probably actually.
Wolf Bites is in the lead. Yep.
Well, more recently, not so much. It's, I'm sort of like a type with the calling things. I'm not into it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually one of my team.
Wasn't it very
All right, 8 minutes. Let's go.
There are 8 minutes left on the clock. We have Wolf Bites in the lead, Team 02, second, the official winner is third, and Matt's Heroes in fourth place.
So we ran out of questions, so we got a lot of them. They're all numbers, they're lower 10.
We got
They jumped ahead.
I can tell these numbers are going up.
It took my cue.
That's what Darren and I did.
That's what I did.
I just Lindbergh.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Name of the suspicious process launched by Charles Lindbergh and process Charles
Wow.
No changes yet. I'm refreshing every 10 seconds, so you don't need to do it until it changes.
I'm going to do it at 5, and that'll be the last time.
Okay.
Until the end.
Wolf Bites is killing them though. 60, jeez.
Everybody's in striking distance, but now they're still with the time we got.
5.5 minutes remaining. Five minutes remaining.
Alright, last refresh.
Wolf Bites is at 68, Team 02 is at 60, the official winners, 56, and Matt's Heroes, 54.
You're all within a striking distance still. Down to 4.
It's a loaded game with Matt playing. Loaded game.
Send me something.
Are you guys still on sun stuff right now?
Yep. Since he's kind of a humble classmate, I was going to lead some supplements. It's also out official. So if I walk into my house the other day, I feel 3 girls that are one. It smelled like smoke. You go like kids do.
It's amazing how I just don't see
I gave my son I gave my son 3 children.
Yeah.
If I gave him 3 children, put away the 40
Jump to
Actually, I think
Two and a half minutes remaining. Okay, I see that.
Don't.
Been making a movie yet?
Not talking until
I just said, okay, I see it. They just gonna do refresh.
Yeah. My dad and my sister are now we're actually right now. It's crap.
That's what drives them there?
One and a half minutes remaining.
So we're not going to reveal the winners until like the very end now, right?
Correct.
All right. This is exciting. How are you doing? No? What kind of pieces?
A bunch. Like chicken bacon.
Phenomenal.
55 seconds remaining.
You're good.
Oh, really?
You're good.
Thanks. Yeah, I like that 6 cheese or whatever they have as well. This is the one we got the 2 boxes of.
that accurate as everyone.
Started taking off. That's fun.
30 seconds remaining.
I got some note in.
It does get confusing
On the way to.
I remember the first time I did it. I had to.
And so I stayed.
15 seconds remaining.
But, I mean, that's after training too. I mean, that's after. You guys are like. I know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You want me to reveal the
Yeah, but I'm
All right.
impressed.
Time's up.
Yeah, time's
Time
up,
is
guys.
now up.
I mean, you can still continue to work, but
This is our official score right now.
Wolf Bites takes the win with 68.
oh, wow. Oh, that's
The official winner.
Oh,
Second place
look
with
at that.
66.
Yeah, that's right.
Team 02 takes third place with 60. Wait, Heroes takes
I know, well, you might as well start with the answer, huh? You know what, if it's good enough, the last one.
So who's the one?
All right, where's Wolf Bites at? Oh, in the back. Nice effort, man.
Yeah, just save the number. Like this.
And the official winners get second place.
How much on the card?
$20. Thanks, guys. Sure.
$20.
Yeah, great job. Wow, good job for having almost no training.
Yes, we get the moral victory.
That's like real life. You get jump into your job and have to do stuff. That's great. Appreciate it.